Breaking news today. Is it time to ditch Artemisa and completely forget about her? Now, Artemisa will be resetted by the system. There was some incorrect description from Rise of Kingdoms, and they said we're just going to reset everybody's Artemisa. That means that the reset for the level, the star level, the skill level, and everything else in there will be refunded for all the resources previously used on this commander. All right. We will also providing additional compensations to governors who have enhanced him. Wait, him? Wait, Artemisa is a him? Oh my God. Okay, I think I overreacted there. This will be based on this level, star level, and skill level of their Artemisa. Okay, so it will be on the August 18, which is today, will be calculated as of today. And basically, they did not include the reduced 15% for each additional target. Well, we're pretty much more aware that that was the case anyway. So if you look at this in here, right, it doesn't say that, hey, when you hit other extra stuff in there, it's not going to give the full effect of that, right? So we're pretty much aware of this, but now that we are seeing that Artemisa will be refunded, is it time to ditch Artemisa and focus onto the newer commanders? So now, why are we saying this? We're not saying this because I might do it, or I will do it, or maybe I will definitely do it, or I don't know. Why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of players out there that doesn't really have a lot of legendary commander sculptures. And as you guys have known, I've already slowed down my investment into obtaining a lot more legendary commander sculptures as well. So that means that you will now have 690 legendary commander sculptures to invest, plus more stars to invest. But then Artemisa is such a great commander. Artemisa works really well on garrison for archer players, for archer gangs, and as well as a really great open field commander, right? And we know that there are two new commanders that are going to be coming out, and one of them is a garrison commander. Now, let's take a look into the upcoming commanders again. Now, with the upcoming commanders, as we know, this is going to be an archer, garrison, and a support tree. Now, amanitore being a support tree, right? This is very interesting how we're going to approach this. Now, for Artemisa, we know that she is amazing because of her defensive tree. Now, I mean, we know that it's amazing as well, you know, with her skills. But the complement with that, with the defensive tree, it works really well on the open field, right? So my setup is actually this. So you can see that we have the archer path in here, and then going to defensive tree. We actually invest a lot in the defensive tree. If you actually take a look into his 43 archer, 31 into the defensive tree. All right. So if we're going to be investing in the support tree with amanitore, it's going to be very interesting how we're going to do this, because you're not going to have this master armorer, right? You're going to have the burning blood there, and you're also going to have the loose formation, but you're going to lose some of the key things in here that makes Artemisa really great in the open field. So amanitore will not have this ability having the support tree. So when we look into support tree, like looking into Aethelflaed, you will have the rejuvenate, which is unique for support tree that defensive tree do not have. Like I said, there's burning blood. So kind of like almost the same, right? And we actually put 40 in here, but well, we actually went all the way out as well. So actually, maybe a better look into it is go into my Wu Tian and look at the talent tree. And as you can see, we may have to just subtract this 3, all right, and subtract some in here. Actually, this counterattack, yeah, you're not really going to do any healing in there, so you might not want to be investing into this patch. So you have to probably reduce all of this in here. This is 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So 14 out of the 32 in there. Then you can invest it onto the garrison. Then you lose a lot of value, honestly. But then you can invest more into the archer pet, right? So once it's out, we'll have to create that talent tree, talent guide for you guys. But now here's the thing. I want you guys to be careful what you're going to do. Now that Artemisa is going to be resetted, I want you guys to be careful not to use the sculptures right away. Think about this first. I would say maybe it's not a bad idea to wait for the new commander. And once some other players have able to do some testings, or maybe I'll do a testing, and then you can then decide where to invest your sculptures, right? Whether you're going to bring it back to Artemisia or you're going to give it to amanitore. So that's something that I want to guide you. Be patient, don't rush it, and because once you do it, it's like it's gone. So the best thing in there though, when you're doing the talent tree for amanitore, it's definitely gonna get that rejuvenate. You're gonna get the burning blood. You're gonna skip this. You don't need that. You don't need this as well, right? You don't need that when healed. You're not gonna need that. You're not going to need that as well, all right? So it's gonna be a very different approach. The option in here that we suggested is if you make her a level 60 and you want to use her as a primary commander, right? If you're looking for another open field commander to use in the battlefield. But the thing is that it's doable to use her for an open field, but it's not, in my opinion, my assumption is not going to be really great. It's not going to be as dominating as Artemisa being able to tank. I feel like this commander might die a little bit too quickly in the open field. So it's a great in the garrison. So it is a garrison commander. It has a good damage in here, right? No AoE, not like Artemisia. Now look into the skill in here. Archer gains 20% increased defense, and then also their attack has a 10% chance of dispelling all ongoing attack enhancement. So one thing I find is very interesting, because if you think about some of the commanders in here currently, if you look into Pakal, which is the newest and the latest commander, it has an attack enhancement in here. When you're attacking the stronghold or cities, infantry led by this commander gain a 20% increased attack. That's an enhancement. Now, when you look into Xiangyu, right, Cavs has a gain of 20% increased attack. And when we look into this one, when attacking stronghold as well, then you have another increase onto the damage bonus in here, which is very interesting. Now, does that mean that when this 10% proc, this trigger, all those ongoing attack enhancement, right, for those, right, will be dispelled? And that makes this so insanely deadly commander in the garrison. But this will not work in the open field. So that's the kicker there, right? It's only going to work if it's in the garrison. Now, it has a once every 10 seconds cooldown. It kind of sucks, but still though, for that one turn, you can make a lot of difference in there. Now, the key thing that we need to mention in here is that it can only trigger once every 10 seconds, this dispel ability. So is it worth to have that one dispel ability in that every 10 seconds? What if it didn't proc in that sequence, right, as well? It doesn't proc as much. So that's a huge thing that we need to basically estimate, or one thing that we need to anticipate with this commander. But if it works more frequently, then it's actually absolutely deadly in my opinion. Alright, so here's another thing. Upon taking skill damage, deals direct damage up to 3 enemies in a forward fan shaping area. If this commander is serving as a garrison, troop also has a 50% chance to deal another round of damage. Okay, so here's the thing. What if you get rallied by Attila and Takeda? There is no skill damage. Then this thing is then pretty much useless, in my opinion. Now, this will work insanely great on open field battle, because it says here upon taking skill damage, right? So if I'm getting swarmed and I'm taking skill damage, then I have the ability to deal direct damage up to 3 enemies in a forward facing fan shaped area. So, but then if this commander is serving as a garrison, troop has also have an extra 50% chance to deal another round of damage. So, like I said, if you're getting rallied by Attila and Takeda, this is practically useless, and it might be something to bring back Attila and Takeda when amanitore is a garrison. So I don't really know or think that amanitore will be the deadliest archer garrison, or the meta will switch, in my opinion. But I could be completely wrong. But just by reading and analyzing what we know, it might not be the meta changer, in my opinion, right now. Troops led by this commander are immune to silence. Active skill reduce to the target rage by 100 per second for 2 seconds. So this is great. All right, pretty simple description there, actually. Phew. Now the question now is, would I not put back the sculptures to Artemisia and put everything to amanitore. Based on my assessment right now is that I would most likely put it back to Artemisia. I'm about 70% to 80, maybe I would say maybe, you know what, 90%. I'm about 90% sure that I want to put it back to Artemisia and just bring everything back to Artemisia because nothing really changes. We know how Artemisia perform already. Now, amanitore has a lot of uncertainty in my opinion right now. And if I am going to work on amanitore as well, amanitore will only be a secondary commander. So I will not even put anything for the I will not put anything for the stars as well. So that's only my strategy. I don't know what you're going to do, but I want to hear your opinion regarding with this update as well. Now, we haven't even talked about Gilgamesh in here because Gilgamesh is another great commander in here. So let's say you don't want to invest it onto amanitore, then I think Gilgamesh is something that you can definitely invest it on. All right. Now, instead of going for the defense, you're going for offense. So in offense, I 100% would say, yeah, if you're thinking about taking out Artemisia completely out of your build, and putting on Gilgamesh, I would not even hesitate to tell you no, all right? Because Gilgamesh is actually really insane. Deals direct damage to your current target and reduce health for 3 seconds by 30% is actually crazy. And more health bonus in here. And as well as Archer led by this commander gain 30% increased health, deals 20% damage to enemy troops that has fewer than 50% remaining. That's a killer. That's a killer. That's a killer there, guys. And then Archer led by this commander gain 20% increased attack when attacking cities in stronghold. Okay, this doesn't work in the open field, all right? Now, troops led by this commander takes 15% less damage from normal attack. That's something that's amazing. That is huge because in the open field, man, these calves, when they start hitting you turn by turn, it hurts. Their attack have a 30% chance of inflicting blood-craving debuff on a target's afflicted troops suffer damage when healed. Damage factor 700. Takes 15% increased skill damage, so which is interesting. This debuff lasts for 4 seconds, can trigger once every 5 seconds, which is much better than the amanitore 10 seconds. Now, that's going to be once you have expertise that, okay? As you guys can see here in the demigod, blood craving debuff on target afflicted troops suffer damage when healed. So this is a good point to think about right now when we're looking into the most common, garrisons that we have, just like having Zenobia, which is an insane healer. So when this thing heals, right, when this Zenobia heals, then you're going to have that extra damage. The damage factor is 700 and takes 15% increased skill damage. So this is actually interesting, right? So I was actually talking to Professor ROK. Prof ROK, if anybody knows him, hit him up. Prof ROK kind of mentioned about, like, of course, people are thinking, well, yeah, Ramses, a combination of Gilgamesh and Ramses, because Ramses has an ability of heal immune effect. But one thing that you need to understand with Ramses, though, it says here for the next 2 seconds, right? The target takes additional damage per second and its defense is reduced. Meanwhile, it is inflicted with an heal immune effect, right? So this has to kind of compound. We still know that Zenobia heals, right? So it depends on the sequence of how it's going to proc. So what we need to kind of like balance out here is that when Gilgamesh skill triggers and when Ramses skill triggers and prevent those, then there's no benefit. But how often is that going to happen? Most likely not very often, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but another thing that we need to look into is Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian is a garrison commander that I have maxed out that has a lot of benefit for me long time ago. Wu Zetian has a healing as well that most people probably forgot about now. Where is that healing? A healing factor of 500, not as huge, in my opinion, compared to Zenobia. And another thing that could be a kind of a commander that can be used to go against Gilgamesh is Theodora. So I feel like some of the meta from before might go back. So does that mean that these commanders will be the game changer? I don't know. I really don't know. Guys, in my opinion, I think it's better to wait and hold. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm still going to put it back to Artemisia. It's just we're used to her already. We know what she does. We know her ability on the field, having a defensive tree. I feel like a little bit more confident on Artemisia still. But for majority of you guys, if you're not sure, I would say hold off and wait and don't use anything. Just keep Artemisia off the side for now. Let us do the testing, watch our video, subscribe to our channel, and press that like button. And I am 100% not convincing you guys to do this right now. But if you do, then it's amazing. Anyway, you know, I mean, the investment here in Rise of Kingdoms, you need to be very careful because, you know, there's a limited amount of like legendary commander sculptures. And when you make mistakes, it really hurts you in the long run. But it's nice that Rise of Kingdoms is giving everything back, right? It's nice that they're doing this and not just going to compensate, hey, here's however amount of sculptures you get for free. But resetting this allows you to, maybe you don't want to become an archer anymore. Maybe you want to go for infantry, and maybe you want to go for cabs. Then that's probably okay too. We'll still accept you, right? With that being said, rockers, thank you guys for watching. I will see you again next time.